There's not much I can say that hasn't already been said by people already 7,000 times over. Because everything I want to say has been said. But I have a reason to want to say something myself anyway, and that's I want to say now before I do get into anything. I know I'm a fucking nobody. And I know people in the content creation space will say, oh, I'm just a nobody who does this. But at the same time, they have audiences who they would be able to speak to. They have audiences they have influence over to an extent. I am actually a nobody, and I'm going to just say now I know that. So why does my fucking word mean nothing? So why does my word mean anything? Well, because I'm going to say now, I might be a nobody. I was, however, intending on essentially jumping into this industry. As in, I've had a project in the works personally for a while now. It's not near finished, it's nowhere near close to being finished yet. But I was planning on having a book published if I was able to. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, I was going to have this done. It's a case of this could have happened, it may not have ever even. I may be saying all of this and none of it would have ever happened in the first place. Because I don't know the first thing about actually publishing. I was going to look into that when I got to that stage. But in terms of the actual thing, the actual content of what I would be publishing, I've got quite a lot of it done. I've got quite a lot of it written down. I've been doing work for a while on this because I felt kind of fucking passionate about it. And I don't know where I'll be going from here. Now, my situation is not the same as anyone who currently has spoke up about this whole thing already, which is people such as DM Lair, who his business is already having to look at legal. They're having to look legally at everything they do and figure out what they're doing. Critical Role are going to have to take some serious looks at all of their stuff and figure out what they can do. Paizo, fucking Cobalt Press, all of these people, from small to big, are all going to have to try and figure out how the fuck they keep going as a business. Yes, some of them earn fucking shit tons, and they'll be okay for a little while to try and figure things out. Others, however, within the month, they're going to be fucked. Within the month, they will be completely fucked. So people who have just got a YouTube channel, who have their fucking their project, their thing on the side that they sell content on, whatever, they're not gonna fucking. They're gonna be kind of fucked. They're gonna have to try and figure it out. And fast. This new OGL is basically the only thing this OGL is achieving is showing everybody where your priorities are as a company, and that is, we don't care that this licensing agreement is 23 years old by now. I believe it's 23 years old. We don't care that it's 20 plus years old, let's say. We're going to walk that entire thing back, screw over everyone who currently loves us for having that, because it is one of the greatest things that we have ever made for our fucking TTRPG, because it allowing loads of people to make third-party content for it it is exactly what has made D&D the biggest TTRPG ever. And it is the biggest tabletop game. It is the biggest tabletop RPG game that has ever existed. Let's be completely real about that. As much as you may like Call of Cthulhu, it's not as big as D&D. As much as you may like, I don't know, there's not many you can just name off the top of your head, because D&D has, let's be honest, D&D basically has a chokehold on the entire industry. So the fact that they're doing this just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because they're not achieving anything. They're really not. Other than bad will. They're not achieving anything other than bad will. And that's actually something that could screw them the fuck over. Wizards of the Coast, by doing this, or should I say Hasbro, it might not be Wizards of the Coast as much as it might be Hasbro. They may have just completely killed their game. Very possible. Because most people are not going to stand for this, and most of the people who would be giving you money for your content have already bought everything that they really kind of need, which would be really not even the monster manual, but just the DM's guide and the player's handbook. Other than those two, you don't need too much. Yes, the monster manual, but also, let's be real, there are plenty of fucking bestiaries out there that are really fucking good. Such as this one that's just come out. Really fucking good book. Better than anything they've put out in a while. And I don't mean Cobalt Press. Yes, I think this is probably my favourite tome of Beasts. But this book, better than anything Wizards has put out for a while. Because it is better than Fizzbands. And that was the last book I got from them that I really fucking liked. So there's not much else I'm going to say. I know I haven't said much. I know that I've probably not really got any reason to say much either. I have no voice. I have no audience. I have no influence. I have no business that's going to be affected by this. I am simply a nobody who's looked at this. Yes, I was planning on making something, and I have got something in the works that I would like to eventually put out. But it wasn't ready to go out yet. It wasn't really ready yet. That's the thing. So I'm just a nobody, but if what I'm seeing everywhere is anything to go by, Wizards, you fucked your entire fucking customer base here. Nobody's happy about this. And I mean nobody. I struggle to find anyone on the internet that is advocating for your decision here who isn't being shot down by at least 100 others. And whether you go through with this or not, we all know where your priorities are at this point. Whether you actually go through with this, we now all know exactly where your priorities are. and it certainly ain't with us. Which is kind of a fucking shame, because that OGL was the epitome of that was the epitome of just putting your fan base first, putting your customers first. That OGL, I would say that is kind of a one of a kind thing. I've not seen that done for anything else. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it has been done, but like the whole idea of, hey, you can use this that we've made, and you can go and make money by doing all of that if you want. And on top of that, even if we come out with any new versions of this license, you don't have to use them. You can use the original. You can use whichever version of this license you want. Which kind of made it the point of, there's no reason for them to do anything that would disadvantage their customers. Because their customers could use any version of the license. But they're also trying to... People have said it better than I could, and I'm not going to go on for any longer. I've said my piece. I don't know what the fuck Wizards are thinking. But at the end of the day, we all know where your priorities are now, and it certainly isn't with trying to keep your fan base happy, and it isn't with it isn't anything that could be considered giving a shit about any of us customers. So I know I know where my money is not going to be going in the future.